I'm excited, I'm nervous, and I'm open and curious.
Feel beautiful, feel confident, feel strong, but also feel soft at the same time.
Every time I spoke, I repeated words that she used because people actually are saying things they don't remember often after because they're just very open. So that's what the session looked like. There were so many great gems in here. It was amazing. You could also notice I continue to breathe. I continue to connect to my highest self, and I continue to connect with her. Connect with your body, connect with your breath, connect with your highest self and your client's highest self. You really, really, really saw the highest self method in this coaching session. So this was a really good one, right? And laughter, I always say, it's like the best breakthrough. When you can look back at your previous beliefs and laugh at them, you know now you've busted through them because now they no longer have a hold over you. They can be like, oh yeah, I was thinking that, I was living like that, and that doesn't even make sense. Well, welcome, Alissa, to the Spiritual Life Coaching Session. I'm so excited to share space with you today.
Thank you so much, Sahara. I'm so excited. I'm nervous a little bit. So.
Yeah, share with me 3 words that you're feeling right now.
I'm excited, I'm nervous, and I'm open and curious, I guess.
Excited, nervous, open, and curious. I love it. What would you love to focus on today's session?
On today's sessions, I would love to focus on identity and money. Those together.
And why now? Why do those things matter to you?
Now, because this is the time for me to step in to being myself fully and making money, because I have a specific situation, I would say, with that whole thing. So for me, those two are very interconnected for some reason. There is a big, I don't know if it will make sense, but like a very emperor energy potential. Like I want to build, but I'm tired. But I'm very tired. But like this is what I want to build, the momentum. It feels like scary in my chest. It feels scary, but it also feels like a challenge. And I kind of like challenges because it would mean like I'm not being stuck anymore. But it's also like...
So does it feel like expansive to you, like you're growing, you're reaching, you're expanding your energy? Or does it feel contractive, like you're closing, you're cutting things off, you're hiding? Which of these 2 pulls do you feel more around staying in LA?
When you ask that, it feels kind of like tiring. But then if I ask myself, like, what if it works out, then I can breathe. You know? But also, things the way they are, I'm tired. But then I ask myself, what if? And then I'm like, what if? You know? I want to have this control, and I want to have this like structure, so I can just like be me and flow. And I know if I go either back or surrender to like make it easier for myself, I won't have as much control, I won't have as much things, but it also like would make it easier for me.
I hear you. So tuning into these two options, and you're right, these aren't the only 2, but these are the 2 we're presented with first. Staying in LA, going back to Kazakhstan. I want you to, staying in LA, feel in your body. Do you feel more expansive energy or contractive energy? Describe to me what your body is doing. Didn't you say you wanted to help the people there? Imagine you went back to Kazakhstan after, growing your platform. You came back a year from now, and there were thousands of women there saying, thank you. I was able to leave toxic relationships. I was able to overcome bullying. I was able to set boundaries with my family. I didn't even know about this work until you told me. So we're going to do some breath of fire and then some, we call this like DMT breath work, but it's like long inhales in and out. If you want less intense through the nose, more intense through the mouth, and I will count us. So we'll do just 1 round to open us up. So we can start with the breath of fire. So we're going to do sharp exhales from the belly. So let's do it together. Take a big inhale in and begin. So tell me again why you don't want to pursue the Dharma coaching that you became. Because you sound like you have someone with a lot of wisdom to share.
Thank you. And so many people told me, like, actually keeps telling me, like, hey, like, why don't you, like, you know, actually begin taking money for it? I have friends that I want to recommend you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I swear to you, people like my acquaintance, and I'm like, but you have the experience, you have like the wisdom. It's not like you just learned something, like I've been through it. And I, you know, like, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be like, I'm going to be a coach. There are some things that I predicted in my life, like living in LA, becoming a vegan when I was eating meat 3 times a day. Like, I just saw it. And like, then one day I just switched, you know. There are some things I knew, and I know maybe not the same, maybe not next year, but I'm going to be having my own community, speaking on stages, uniting people. And just like I see it, I kept seeing it since I was a child, the same way I kept seeing LA. So that's why I feel like I'm not rushing into it, because I did not want it to be forced. Because you know what I thought throughout this year? I was like, I'm not in a position to coach right now anyone because I was in so much pain, you know? And maybe I could have, but I felt like, I don't know, in my integrity, I'm like, I'm not 100%. I need to heal myself. I need to get the support I need because I have not been getting.
It sounds like the actual money is already waiting to come to you through these clients.
Yeah.
And I bet a lot of them are in the acting world as well. I bet a lot of them are in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and, you know, all of the different countries in Central Asia and around the world that are experiencing exactly what you went through.
Yeah.
What about creating content about that? That Kazakhstani girl.
Actually, yeah, now, like, as I heard you saying that, because, you know, I was always opposed to it. Because, you know, in my mind, I was like, you did not accept me. Fuck you. I'm not going to help you. That mentality. But it's not. It's
and
not
it
real.
doesn't need to be for the people of Kazakhstan if you don't want it to be. It's just, I don't know anyone else creating spiritual content for them.
No, that's
you just might be the first ever.
That's actually true. I don't know anyone who's doing spiritual
in
stuff.
their language.
Yeah.
You'll literally be the first ever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something to definitely think about. And I like that feeling of like I can bet on myself and just like start and get into and commit and build, you know. But there is always this fear is like, but how am I gonna pay my rent this month if I'm just starting, you know?
If your coaching clients pay you even $100 an hour, if you got 3 clients a day, that's $300 a day. That might be more than you're already making. $1,500 a week. That's like, I'm really bad at math. $6,000 a month.
Yeah.
From getting 3 clients a day at $100 an hour, which is like a starting rate that what coaches charge.
Mm-hmm.
And then your TikToks, YouTube, all the content you want to create using your Leo side can channel into something that you own. Because when you're working with sponsors, they change their budgets all the time. They cut, they cancel, they cut off. Things aren't converting. People didn't use your code. They want to make do. Trust me, I used to work with a lot of them. It's the least reliable thing.
Oh, okay.
It's the thing that everyone wants because they think it's easy money. Never do the thing that everyone thinks is easy money. That will always be the hardest money because everyone's doing it. Do the thing that people don't even think about because no one else is there.
Yeah. And I would love to merge those two worlds, you know, like to have, because lots of Russian people know some English. And you probably know how there is like a different intuition, different voice from different languages.
You were talking about merging yours.
Yeah, because I find value in both who I am in Russian and who I am in English. It's still me, you know, it's like the way I am, the way I became. but they're different. And I feel like when they merge, it's like who I am right now.
And you get to speak uniquely to people who probably are like 18 to 22, who are a little younger than you and probably look up to you of like, she went to LA? How? And this is something you uniquely have experience in that maybe no one else does. No one else in your unique way, growing up where you grew up, overcoming what you've gone through, having all of your unique life experiences that brought you to here. You're the only person on earth who's done that. So no one else can share your message, and you were born to. I invite you to close your eyes right now. Take a few breaths. Just coming into your body right now. And bringing to mind an age where you felt bullied, repressed, like you couldn't speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep your eyes closed and just share with me what age you were.
It all began when I was 6 years old and came to first grade. And from that grade on, like every single year after, I was bullied or oppressed in some sort of way, one way or the other, by different people, in different aspects of myself.
What's the first time you can remember that happening?
I was 6 years old, and I was just in the classroom in the first grade. And I like felt alienated. And then I was bullied, and I tried to bond with the girls, and they were like attacking me, like for who I am, like kind of like alienating me. And then there was like a physical aspect of it. This one girl, like she like teared my shirt, like, yeah. She teared my shirt and just like, I just felt like I completely don't belong, like alienated, full on.
And what did you make that mean about yourself?
That I don't belong.
I don't belong.
I don't fit in.
I don't fit in. Where do you feel that in your body?
Like in my chest, in my throat. Like very emotional.
Mm. And what does it feel like to not belong, to not fit in?
It's just painful.
Are there any sounds you want to make? Feel free to cry. Feel free to move. Let's just feel that pain for a moment. Let's just, for 1 minute right now, just feel it to the bottom of the barrel. Just feeling that pain for a moment because it's been with you subconsciously since then. Slowly start to dissipate. That pain, it's there. You're present to it. You're aware of it. It's your friend. You know this pain. It's your pain. It's the pain of the world. Everyone has this pain. This is yours.
I do want to thank this pain for expanding me from within and creating the relationship that I have with the universe and myself that I have right now. And yeah, you're right, I have it. This is my pain. It's been my pain. But after all these years and these experiences, I like myself. Even when I'm oppressed, I like myself and I am who I am. And I have myself. And that got reinforced by all of those experiences, but that I still have it. I still have me.
Well, you've just shared so much wisdom from your highest self right now. A couple of things I just want to point at. Okay, you want to be yourself. You want to be authentic.
Yeah.
Where can you be more yourself and authentic? Auditioning for acting roles, being different characters. You have to memorize lines and hope you get a call back. Or coaching people based on your own life experiences.
Well, if you say it this way.
Curious.
No, yeah, coaching people.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching people. Absolutely.
So you want to be more authentic. We can see coaching. We can see people want to give you their money to coach them. We can see that you have seen a vision of yourself coaching people. And you know it's going to happen. And the same wisdom that you got from LA is telling you you're meant to be a coach.
It will happen. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yet you're saying you cannot coach because you're in pain, but the pain is caused from you not pursuing your coaching. Like, you can just drop the pain now. You don't need it anymore. It's kind of like funny.
I guess I don't.
Yeah.
You know what? That's
like, you don't even need to go to those auditions.
yeah. I guess I don't. And
you could be on camera every day if you want.
Yeah.
On your own channel, speaking about things you actually want to talk about, not memorizing someone else's line for a movie industry that's failing.
It is failing. It's really bad.
It's
really bad.
It is. Because people don't want to watch scripted things anymore. They want
realness.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what they want to hear about? Your pain. Have you always been a sensitive, attuned, and empathic person that people naturally gravitate to when they're looking for life advice or a shoulder to lean on? But we've always wondered, how can I actually create a career with this unique gift that I have that sometimes feels like a blessing and sometimes feels like a curse? Well, let me share with you how I did so by becoming a spiritual life coach. This allows you to create a private practice for yourself where people can come to you for intuitive guidance, and you'll be able to ask them questions to dive them through some of the biggest challenges, but also things that you have personally overcome, such as overcoming anxiety or just finding more clarity in your life. So if this is calling your name, this is your invitation to join us at my school, Highest Self Institute's new Spiritual Life Coaching 6-month certification. We're going to be diving deep into intuition, energy healing, the nervous system, Ayurveda, chakras, doshas, divination, plant medicine, seeing ceremony as a healing practice, polarity, shadow work, ancestral healing, and so much more. If I just said a lot of buzzwords that you're really interested and curious about, then becoming a spiritual life coach is meant for you. Whether you want to actually create a career sharing this gift with other people or just diving deeper into your own spiritual journey. So doors are open right now for our new spiritual life coach certification. I will also be with you live every single week on Zoom calls, answering your questions, laser coaching you, as well as my co-founder, Dr. Neeta. We also have pre-recorded modules you can watch anytime, so it doesn't matter what time zone you're in, as well as practice pods. So every single week, you'll actually be practicing the tool you learned that week and getting feedback on your coaching. And this is something I have never seen in any certification before. So if you're ready for an integrative, hands-on, and expansive way of stepping deeper into your spiritual journey, then I invite you to join us in our Spiritual Life Coach certification. You can learn more about it while doors are open by heading over to the show notes. It's the very first link, and you can book a free one-on-one discovery call with our team member to answer any question that you might have. And I am so excited to hopefully have you in class this year. I mean, who knows where you could be 6 months from now? Maybe you'll be right here on this chair while I'm interviewing you. So again, head over to the very first link in the show notes to get started and become a certified spiritual life coach. Calling all my romance lovers, if you love books like A Court of Thorn and Roses or 50 Shades of Grey, I have the perfect thing for you, and it's called Dipsea. It is filled with thousands of short and spicy audio stories anything that you have ever thought about, desired, maybe a Dirty Dancing Havana Nights experience or a sexy Viking that's going to save you and take you far, far away. Whatever your fantasy is, Dipsea has a story for you. So this was written by women for women. You can listen to it when you're going to the grocery store, picking up your kids. I mean, why not just spice up your life like the Spice Girl said? We could all use a little bit more of that. So if this is tickling your senses, Dipsea is offering Highest Self podcast listeners an extended 30-day free trial. So that's 30 days of spicy audio stories for free when you head over to dipseastories.com/Sahara. That's DIPSEA stories.com/Sahara for 30 days free. And you can find that link in the show notes. So just a little breakdown of what we saw. This was a deep one. I'm sure you've recognized many of the tools in the Highest Self method, but really I stayed curious in this one. I kept going deeper. I used tools such as her really connecting to her body, closing her eyes, connecting to expansion or contraction. And when she would lose it, I would have her come back into her body. I would have her feel into options rather than me saying, well, I don't know. I think, this is the better idea. I don't know. Letting her come to her own conclusion. I helped her see full circle that the very thing that she wanted to be authentically herself actually came from her integrating everything she's learned and who she's become with, she did Dharma Coaching Institute with this deeper desire and vision that she had. And it's like all of the pieces were there, but her mind thought success in LA, the dream life in LA is being an actress or on TikTok. Because if you look around, everyone's trying to do that. And so we think being myself is being a social media influencer, content creator, an actor, an influencer, etc. And I helped her see, not through me telling her, but it was all through questions. I had these ideas, but I wanted her to have them. So I would ask her, and sometimes I would go to extremes. Sometimes I would make well, what about this? And make it super obvious what the answer was so she could feel into it. And you could notice that energy of intensity dissipated when she brought in the word play. And then you felt that was the big breakthrough moment of releasing that feeling of oppression, bringing her back. What was the first time you felt the oppression? That 6-year-old girl, and helping her see that moment in time created a story, a narrative of I am not safe, I don't belong, that she was seeing the world through. And that even situations where it may have just been something else, her lens caused her to feel that feeling of oppression, which was the unfinished pain of her 6-year-old girl. So I really saw the Highest Self method in practice. In this one, I used a lot of the connect with my breath, connect with my body, connect with my client. I used a lot of our tools and really remained curious and open-minded. And you could see the full circle. And she really felt this expansive energy, and it felt extremely complete and life-changing. And everyone in your surroundings is following one thing. You start to think, oh yeah, I need to also do that. I need to have acquired a certain amount of fame, success, notoriety, and then I will have something to coach about. Rather than understanding exactly where you are is the perfect thing to coach about, because you are in it, because you know the thoughts, you know the texture of it. You're not 10 years away from it. You can speak to it with a level of presence that people who are now 32, she can speak to people who are 22, who are in this moment of their lives. And maybe if you just had a baby, or maybe if you just had a divorce, there's a portal you are in right now that you will never be in again. And that is the best place to coach people from, because you're in it. So this is why I believe any emotion wants to fully be felt, and it can only really be felt for 90 seconds scientifically. So I knew that she had the nervous system capacity, and I wouldn't do this with everyone, but I could feel she was regulated. So I had her actually feel that pain. Now, if you see someone screaming and shouting, then I would not go there, but I could see that she could touch it. And so, and again, because I am aware of my own pain too, I carry groundedness in my nervous system that she's regulating off of as well. So she was able to go in and feel the bottom of the barrel of that pain. And from feeling the bottom barrel of that pain, suddenly she was breathing more. There was more like oxygen flowing through her, but I don't know if you could see the difference in her face. A lot cleared up in her energy. Her eyes became brighter. Her everything just became brighter. She became alive. It was like a cloud was lifted off of her because she's been going through the world with this energy of fight, fight, fight. And she kept saying, my Aries moon, my Aries moon. And then she said, well, actually I got this Leo sun. And, you know, I actually wanted to suggest to you. I was like, maybe also astrology is a part of your dharma because you seem to use a lot of astrology references. And so I was using, again, words that she would say, bouncing back words, but helping her see that she no longer is oppressed. She no longer has to fight, but she can bring in this highest self energy of play. And that highest self energy of play allows the feeling of freedom. I had her anchor in, what does freedom, liberation feel like for you? Her vibration started to rise. All of a sudden, she came up with all these ideas for herself. She was just channeling. That was all in her. She was like, oh, actually, I had this whole vision that I was going to be a coach and people actually want to pay me for it. And it was like, that was all there. But did you see that huge shift in who she became in that moment versus who she was when she sat down? A huge shift of, and this is why we do the practices. This is why we do the method. If she came and sat on that chair and said, you know, I want to be a TikToker, and I could have just stayed with that and we could have brainstormed TikToks the whole time. And that would have been the vibration and dimension of the conversation. It would have been about TikToker and she would have gone on her path. But I knew there's always something deeper. And even if the full circle brought us back to TikTok, it could have. But we gotta go into the different cavities. We gotta see what's really there. And by seeing what's really there, we can come to our full truth and our full understanding and not from a bypass place. So bringing forth the energy of what people want to feel, you know, she wants to feel that she belongs. She wants to feel herself. She wants to feel liberated. She wants to feel in control of her own life without over controlling and going back to an eating disorder way, a lightness, a freedom. And so I started to even embody that energy as I was speaking to her. As she was, I was, and then we were like laughing together, right? And laughter, I always say, that's like the best breakthrough. When you can look back at your previous beliefs and laugh at them, you know now you've busted through them because now they no longer have a hold over you. They can be like, oh yeah, I was thinking that, I was living like that, and that doesn't even make sense. And so that's a beautiful moment to have with your clients when it's like that thing that I like held as a Bible, it doesn't even make sense. And then it's like, oh yeah, I get to create my own reality. I get to shift my beliefs. And as I shift my beliefs, everything changes. And so I get to be me all the time. There's not a job I have to get. Especially the funny thing was her mind created a story of, for me to be myself, I need to be an actor, which I was like, isn't it funny? Because are actors actually being themselves or are they being characters? She's like, you're right. They're being characters. So it's funny. And a lot of people do this. We have this desire, but we go towards the thing that looks like it, but it's the Barbie of it. It's not the real thing. So she wants to be herself on camera. What she's grown up seeing is the people who are themselves on camera in movies, therefore I must be in a movie. But now there are a million different ways. Now the new way is TikTok. But even beyond that, there's a million ways. But in her demographic, there's 22. There's not a lot of spiritual life coaches, dharma coaches. Her soul brought her on that journey. But then there wasn't enough people in her surroundings to keep that going. So here it is, the High Self Method in practice. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Well, welcome, Jess. I am so excited to have you here today for our spiritual life coaching session.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
So I would love to hear 3 words how you're feeling right now.
Peaked, excited, curious.
Peaked, excited, and curious. Yeah. I love that. Lots of energy, ideas moving through you. Yes. Well, I went through your intake form and there's so much I want to talk about and also just allow space for whatever's present. But I'm curious for you right now in this moment, is there something you'd really love to dive into?
I think because you're such a master at like planning and seeing what people should do and their paths, that's kind of what I want to experience. Your magic, what you do, what you naturally do.
So we're going to start with doing a little chakra meditation. And this will allow us to just kind of tune in and feel where we're at right now. So just get comfortable wherever in your chair. Feel free to lean back. And just come to your natural breath right now. And bringing that energy now into your heart. Feeling all of the love that you have to offer. Feeling yourself in your joy. Allowing anything to come into your mind's eye when you visualize yourself being joyful. What does that look like for you? And now bringing that energy of joy to this very moment. Letting your heart warm with butterflies and excitement. Knowing that your highest form of love comes through you stepping into your Dharma. Bringing it down into your solar plexus, your belly. Feeling the movement, the momentum, the excitement, the action. Feeling yourself want to create, wanting to move forward, feeling that energy. And really connecting to your inner fire, your inner powerhouse. The part of you that is so motivated, so ready, so here for it. Knowing that you have that pure potentiality within yourself. And as you feel the drums of that energy, bringing it into your sacral, your womb, your creativity, your abundance, your sensuality, your pleasure. And circling your hips. And letting yourself feel the goodness of your body. Activating your femininity. Your Dharma gets to come from this place of sensuality. It gets to be something that feels good, that comes through the energy of ease. So rewriting any programming that it needs to be hard and only come from struggle. And inviting in that honey-like energy of the sacral. And root. Feeling that energy all the way down into your root, your legs. Feeling yourself stand strong in your expression and who you are. Knowing that you stand upon your ancestors' shoulders, that you are not alone, but you are deeply rooted and connected to the earth. Imagine yourself walking as a woman, as a queen, as a goddess. And feeling the weight, the magnetism of your Dharma. And knowing that you are here to birth a movement. Bring it all the way down to the bottom of your feet, connecting down to Pachamama. Knowing you are supported by seen and unseen forces that have your highest good always at heart, and that you are always in communication with the universe, that everything is a synchronicity, it is a sign guiding you through both joy and pain, expansion and contraction. Both are messages that are leading you towards your Dharma. Taking a deep breath and feeling into all of the chakras now. And feeling any that still feel a little stuck and bringing your awareness there. And bringing breath and awareness to that area of your body. And giving yourself an affirmation that will support you when the stuckness comes up. Something you can tell yourself to remind yourself of the truth. Taking a deep breath in. And exhale, shaking everything off. And I'm curious, Jess, for you, what chakra did you feel had a little bit of an imbalance or stuck energy?
Well, that's the probably an area I want help with from you today, and that's the throat and feeling safe and expression. Yeah.
And what was the affirmation you told yourself?
I am safe.
I am safe.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Yeah. What does it feel like to not feel safe in your throat?
It feels like, you know, that feeling when you're holding back crying?
Yeah. Tell me more.
That feeling, like that dull, like stuck pain. I remember like going to movies and always being super sensitive and holding back the tears because nobody else was crying. And so it's still that feeling.
Right now, what is the full-blown vision of what you have in your mind's eye today?
Well, that's the part I need a little more clarity on. I'm visioning, I want to be an artist, but I want to use my channel that recently opened up, my intuitive channel. So I have this vision of doing readings and then offering a kind of like a 3D anchor in what came through for the person. So it would be like a custom Akashic painting of their essence or whatever came through in the reading for them. So it's kind of like the space where the vertical and the horizontal meet in this like painting and it holds energy. And yeah.
So you would do a reading with them and then paint how you see their energy.
I paint their aura. I could paint like a lot of times I'll see like their aura colors. I'll see their spirit animals will come through, or a particular season. Like a lot of people hold the essence of a season. Like you hold fall, you hold autumn. So like if I did yours, it would be a very autumnal painting, you know, and it would reflect anything special that came through as far as past lives or anything. So it would be like a beautiful anchor. And then also because I'm so connected with color and magic, I can like make the colors in a certain sequence and the right tones that will actually like harmonize the person. And I've been doing body tests when I do the color harmony for people, and like when you body test, they get stronger when they're looking at it.
I love that. Well, I love seeing your excitement when you talk about it. You just start radiating and
I don't really
do
love talking about my childhood, but when I talk about the future and all of that,
well, it's all connected. You know? It's like those things, those ideas that we've been made to believe are true from our childhood often, you know, inform and prevent us from being the person we're meant to be today. What is your unique type of intuition? Are you someone that feels things in your body, sees a vision for something, hears a voice in your head, or just knows? This quiz is going to help you understand your unique intuitive type and how you can take action on it in creating a career that honors your intuitive gifts. All right, let's get into it. So trust your intuition, trust your inner wisdom, trust your inner guidance, close your eyes and listen. I would love to know Jess's fullest expression. Can you please share what that looks like?
I'm actually in front of a group, a small group. It looks like a circle of women. And standing in my power, it's like I look like a priestess. I'm very adorned. I'm in a studio. I have a large studio, painting studio. There's a lot of paintings, a lot of color. I feel really happy that I'm alone now. I liked holding space, but I had to go away and recharge alone in my artist studio. And now I'm back sharing. I'm sharing with other artists. I'm in a gallery. Women are hugging me and thanking me. The paintings I made for them made them feel strengthened, peaceful, harmonized.
This was such a beautiful vision of Jess sharing with the group of women, sharing her wisdom, her spirituality, her knowledge, and then coming to her big art studio where she got to recharge in her alone time and create art that she later is able to share that helps recharge people. What a beautiful continuous cycle of sharing and rejuvenation.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. It was an interesting message too, because I've actually never done my records like this with someone else, so it feels very different. But yeah, it was a message for me that I need to recharge through my art. So it was like holding space, holding this power, or this, like, not like it's my power, but holding this like exchange of energy and power, and then going back to that was like my life force. It like re-energized me, so it went back and forth.
And what is her highest self, her soul, asking her to focus her energy on right now?
Painting, going within. We could paint in some kombucha or tea. We could do a tea ceremony.
I love that.
It could still be paint and sip for not drinking though.
So maybe that can even be part of your marketing.
Tea ceremony or cacao. I think maybe that could be in flow with the seasons too, because it's very, very seasonal, you know.
Yes, your soul definitely felt that. So I love that of each month has its own theme.
Yeah.
Do you work with astrology?
I do. I dabble.
Because it could be, you know, the Libra one, the Virgo one, etc. Or it could be seasonal ones as well.
Yeah.
Working with colors of that season. Even like picking leaves from the trees and adding them to your easel.
And also I could help people connect with their own season and aura. I could probably just very easily go around and tell everybody's aura color. I could kind of like maybe paint your aura. I could help them paint their aura.
Could you teach people how to see auras?
I could. It's pretty easy.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
So that could be maybe like the upsell that you would have of a program with you to learn how to see your aura.
Yeah. Although it's hard to see your own aura.
To see auras in general.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's tricky. Yeah.
Because I think that's the next step in the healing journey, is to become more intuitive.
Yes. Everybody needs to connect. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we have here's the path. You have this monthly gathering, We Paint to Heal. You know, you'll set up the easels, the paints, etc. It'll have a monthly theme with the seasons, maybe with astrology. You could do holidays like Halloween or Samhain, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. We could do autumnal equinox,
exactly.
solstice, all the Yeah, that would probably heal my witch wounds too.
Yeah,
if
all the pagan holidays.
Yeah.
Beltane.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like even incorporating more, I know you want to keep it open and flowy, but I feel if, as a consumer, if I were driving to Topanga to do a workshop and it was just me kind of painting, I'd be like, well, why would I go all the way there to do it? So I feel like let's tune into what you could add more of your magic sauce, your expression.
Yeah.
Maybe making it a little bit longer too, so they have that time to paint. But maybe there's also a teaching element as well. It could be a half day thing.
Yeah. Would you want to do a half day?
I feel if I'm going to drive an hour somewhere, an hour back, that I would want to spend more time there. Don't you think?
Maybe, yeah. If there was like ceremony or like workshop and then painting, yeah.
So tell me more. What do you mean by that? Ceremony? Tea ceremony?
Yeah, we could do tea ceremony, cacao. We could do some somatic movements. We could do a guided breath work or meditation to maybe open up their own artist channel.
Love this. Love where this is going.
Let's see. Yeah, I could do, I play the flute and the sound bowls. So I could like give a little sound bath maybe.
Maybe at the end there's a sound bath.
Yeah. So yeah, we could do, I mean, there's so many possibilities. But you're so business minded. Tell me what you think. What would you buy as a consumer?
Well, there's, every kind of offering is possible. It has to do with what you love to do, so you're consistent with it. But where you're heading sounds like it's something that you love and are consistent with.
Yeah.
So what you shared was starting with a tea or a cacao ceremony, maybe some somatic movement, breath work. So maybe there's the element of like the sip, the element of the heal, then the paint, and then the integrate.
Yeah.
So that could be like the 4 steps of it.
Yeah.
So it has like a system to it.
And people like structure and agenda.
Yes. That's
Which
what
is
I
hard
want you
me.
to tune more into. Yes.
Know.
You're like, oh, they just come and paint. I'm like, that sounds fun. And I could do that with a friend, right? So it's like adding in your expression.
Yes.
So it's something they can really only get from you.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of you going around and saying, oh, I see the fall season in you, the summer season, because I feel that's something very unique, your unique gift.
Yeah.
When Jess feels uncertainty on the path of creating, we paint to heal. What can she remind herself to remind her of her path?
To come back to her art and her community. And that she needs it and others need it.
And any other final words that Jess needs to hear right now? One of the big things in spiritual life coaching is that really the client is coaching themselves. Your intuition is coaching you. And we are just here asking questions and holding the frequency, because when you're by yourself, your mind travels, you have a random thought, nothing's really anchoring you.
Yes. Yeah.
But then if there's someone else there, you're like, oh yeah, maybe I wouldn't have asked myself that, or it causes you to really sit with that question. And I also find the sharing it out loud crystallizes it a lot more and lets you follow through and finish, the thought. So I love that. And it sounds like there was a project coming through. Can you share more?
I don't know what any of that was. I'm probably going to have to rewatch that too, because I don't actually remember a lot afterwards, but I know I said we hike to heal.
We paint to heal.
We paint to heal. We hike to heal. Yeah,
which is your monthly painting gathering in the forest where people are sitting in blankets and have easels and are talking, getting comfy and painting to heal.
Yeah. I love it.
Is that something you feel like you could get started on?
Totally.
If that was on Eventbrite, it would sell out very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does it mean to be weird?
Don't fit in. Different. Something's wrong with me.
When you hear the word weird, where do you feel it in your body?
Throat.
And so does weird right now feel like a negative or positive word to you?
I think it's moving towards more neutral because obviously I've been doing the work for a few years. And, but you know, that stuff, the foundational stuff at the beginning of your life, it's hard to push through.
So you're going to have some clients that are already spiritual, intuitive in their own ways, and to ask them, how do you connect with your intuition? Because they're going to have their own practice, their own way. So for her, it was through the Akashic Records, and the Akashic Records is, and we'll probably bring on Daniela, who's my Akashic Records teacher, but you say a specific prayer, it opens up this realm of information in your consciousness. And so that is her practice. And so I did the coaching session with her in the records, in her meditative state. So for someone else, they might just have a Zen meditation practice, and you can coach them through that. Sometimes people find it easier to connect and be honest when their eyes are closed as well. They can feel they can drop more into their subconscious versus when they're looking you in the eye and talking to you, because we feel more performative or just used to interacting with people from that space. So really allowing your client to drop in or just close their eyes or place their hand on their heart or breathe or just free flow speak, whatever allows them to just connect and say what's on their mind. And so I did the coaching, I was asking questions, and then I started to find the bottom barrel. And for her, it was clearly around not feeling safe, her expression, witch wound, which pretty much every spiritual person has to some level. So you could see she had her own emotional release naturally from really speaking into that and feeling the past lives, her own memory experience in this lifetime as well, of feeling weird, of feeling like she didn't fit in. And a lot of us, we did, spiritual people, we did feel very misunderstood. We were often in families that we were misunderstood because that's part of the journey, to be that rainbow sheep in the family where, you are here to be the lighthouse. And so it is a collective experience you're definitely going to see. And so from that place that we hit that bottom barrel, that big thought of, I'm going to be weird, people are not going to like me, I'm going to be exiled. Then I brought her up into, what is the vision now? What is exciting for you now? And she started to share her own ideas. And, first it was a bit more big picture. And then I just kept asking questions until she shared, we paint to heal. That's how I knew, okay, this is our thing. Her desire was to have a path. And so her intuition guided her exactly to her path. I also asked her specifically, what are the fears that are showing up around this? What does Jess's consciousness want her to know? What can she tell herself when she is afraid? So the questions I know that she would have, I was actually asking her in that space. So thank you so much, Jess, for sharing, for being vulnerable. We will link your social media below so people can join you. Yeah. This sounds so exciting.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Amber, thank you so much for coming today. I'm so excited to spiritual life coach you today.
It's an honor to be here. I'm super excited.
So I would love to hear 3 words that you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling excited, a little nervous, and very optimistic.
And I'd love to know, what would you like to focus on in today's session?
I have been life coaching for about 1.5 years. It's not my full-time gig yet. I really want to get out of my job and really just branch out into this industry. I feel like I've put in a lot of groundwork. Now I think it's just a matter of this energy, because I realized that I want to do more like in-person events. I've been doing vision board workshops, so I love being like front and center. I want to public speak. I want to do all that. And I just want to work on my energy. I want to just feel less like closed in.
To get started, let's just drop into some breaths, really just anchor into this moment. So I invite you to just close your eyes, get comfortable, feel free to lean back. We're going to do some 4x4 breathing. So we're going to inhale 4 counts, hold 4 counts, and exhale 4 counts. I'll guide us. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. What hurts in your heart right now?
I'm wearing
a big t-shirt from my softball games. I'm wearing these baggy basketball shorts. I have glasses on, shorter hair. I don't really know how to style my hair. I don't really know I didn't grow up with my mom around, so I don't really have any sense of style or direction. I was raised by a single dad. So I'm feeling very like behind. And a little resentful, maybe a little angry. I think I still feel hopeful, but it's always just kind of waiting for one day.
I hear you. Thanks for sharing that. Future Amber is here with you right now. How can she best support you?
She can continue to show up. Even back then, I had big dreams, so she can continue to show up, continue to try to figure it out, continue to fight and stay afloat, I would say. Just not give up.
I'd love to drop in deeper that you respond as 16-year-old Amber. So speaking first person I. Great. Amber, what are you afraid of right now?
I'm afraid of being taken at face value. I'm afraid of not given the chance, like not getting chances, again, off face value. I'm afraid of always having to work really hard to get like recognized. I'm afraid of always having to overextend myself to prove my worth. I'm afraid of just never feeling that embodiment, just never feeling like this feminine role that I've always wanted to be. And I think I'm just afraid of I'm also afraid of being seen in that role because it's so foreign to me.
Thank you for sharing that. And what does that feminine role look like to you? What does it mean to you?
I picture her this sexy boss babe. I picture her just looking polished and put together and not feeling like she has to try too hard, just letting things kind of come to her. Having this magnetic energy where people just kind of look at her naturally. This very self-assured person is what I see. It's very, I'm going to jump on stage. I'm going to speak without my voice shaking. I'm going to just look good in every outfit I put on.
And how would that make you feel if you had those things?
I almost picture my posture changing, sitting up taller. Just feel beautiful, feel confident, feel strong, but also feel soft at the same time. I'm kind of entering that soft girl era at the same time. So there's that mix of being able to turn it on and be this person who jumps up on stages and takes charge. And then I also see that other side of me that is gentle and nurturing and kind of cute.
And how do you, Amber, already actually have both of those sides to you right now?
I always say do it even if your voice shakes. So I'm still going to go out there. I'm still going to try. I'm still going to go after the things I want. And then the soft comes in when I'm at home and I just kind of look around at my life that I built and I just think it's cute. And I it just always comes down to working hard, but I want to change my relationship with that. But it does come down to, I did the thing. I have a cute little matching set on and I figured it out.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Amber. And we're going to let you go back so you can take a breath and exhale, letting teenage Amber go. Shake off your body, clear your energy. And now we're going to invite in Amber's highest self, her inner wise woman, her future self, the part of her that knows, the part of her that is always guiding her. Start to feel into that energy, what it looks like. Maybe you feel it above your body. Maybe you see a vision of yourself like a goddess.
I think at first she gives the tough love. Says you just go out there and do it. You go out there and go on Pinterest for the outfit inspos. You go out there and try the clothes on. That's the first. But the wisdom. Because again, I think it's the being. It's you get to decide that you are enough as you are. You get to decide that you're more worried about you than other people are. You're more worried about your perception than I think other people are of you. Maybe people don't see you as critical as you are criticizing yourself. And I just kind of picture her shoulders on me and on my shoulders, or her hands on my shoulders. And just saying like, I love you and I wish you knew, you understood your power. I just wish you stepped into that power because it's already within you.
Beautiful. It's already within you. And are there any final questions you'd like to ask her?
The last one would be, how do I become more embodied? How do I feel better in my own skin?
Beautiful. Stepping into your highest self's energy, connecting to the light. Allowing her to share.
Again, it starts with some self-love. I think it starts with, you know what you have to do. You know what grounds you. You know that eating right, eating healthier, getting your steps in, getting your workouts in, you know that is your grounding. You know that should be a priority to you because you know that that's what makes you feel like your highest self. You know, when that's in order, everything else kind of falls into place because you're in a better mental state. You feel more embodied. Yeah, when you allow your body to move. When you allow yourself to dance, to be seen, to take up space. You become more embodied when you decide that you're worthy of commanding a room. You're worthy of moving around. You're worthy of not just being so constricted and so in a little corner. Yeah, you become embodied when you decide to take up more space.
You become more embodied when you decide to take up more space. Beautiful. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling, releasing anything that is not serving you. We're going to burn a little bit of sage. Coming back, wiggling your fingers, your toes, moving your shoulders. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to this moment. How did that feel?
It was powerful. I feel like I do try to embody my highest self, but I also felt the being, you are here right now. I just feel more comfortable. I feel more, like I can sit in this chair a lot more comfortable, a lot more like worthy, a lot more grounded, and I would say worthy. I feel more worthy.
More worthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that same voice is going to say, you couldn't even get 100. You couldn't even get 1,000. You couldn't even get 10,000. Amber, you're not enough. You're not enough. That voice is going to continue with you no matter how many people are in the crowd and how much money is in the bank. Let's name that voice.
That is... That's like... Angry Amber, almost.
Angry Amber.
Yeah.
How old is Angry Amber?
I think she's got to be back at 16.
I see. We're back at the 16-year-old girl. Because she's angry because she feels like she needs to become someone. And only until she is this version of her that she's created in her mind, only then will she feel proud of herself. Right?
I mean, she wants to be more self-assured now. She wants to feel cool now. She wants to feel like people want to come to her things now. And like you said, people are coming to my things. She wants to feel like people like flock to her without so much effort. And maybe that's just ego, but that's how it feels.
Yeah, it makes total sense. She wants to feel these things. But she thinks she has to be this certain figure to feel that. Is it true that you need to speak on stage to 100 people to feel cool?
No.
Does everyone that feels cool speak on stage to 100 people?
No.
Are there people who've never even had the thought of speaking on stage to 100 people that feel cool? Even breaking down this word feeling cool, which was on your discovery intake form as well. What does it mean to feel cool?
I go back to the outfit. I go back to that calm, cool, collected, that I got this. Like, I can just kind of sit back in the chair and relax. It feels... I use the word it girl a lot, but it does feel very polished, like a polished version of me.
So maybe she would be wearing like a black leather jacket and have on really nice eyelashes and makeup and cool nails and jewelry. Oh, I think I know someone.
And that was the thought process here of, you know what, I'm going to take a bunch of time to figure this out, but I'm going to kind of embody that LA cool girl highest self that I know is within me. Yeah, it's that. And I definitely felt after the meditation, I felt more relaxed. Like getting here, it was very like, I don't say nerve-wracking, but just like, I've never done this before.
Because you're feeling like you have to perform. There's a split. Now, do you mind if I share a little bit of what I see and I'll share it here?
Yes.
And I understand this so well because after my divorce, I developed the same split. When we've gone through something challenging, right? When we felt that pain, we felt that despair, we create this idealized version of ourselves in our mind. The it girl, the main character, the dream girl, the me I want to be. And she dresses a certain way and she looks a certain way and she carries herself a certain way. And that is really helpful when you're in that place, right? You have this vision of who you want to become and it really serves you. And even if you feel like shit, you wear the cool leather jacket or, you know, the braids in your hair, you start to feel a little bit more like her. Just feel a little bit more like her, feel a little bit more like her. But that only takes you so far. Because if you only feel like her when you're dressed a certain way, when you look a certain way, when you have a certain attention, what happens when you don't? It's gone. And then that 16-year-old girl comes back. She's like, see, I told you, you weren't actually it. You're not actually one of the cool girls. You become like in Mean Girls, Katie. Yeah. It's funny, right? We're waiting for that moment of like, am I doing it right? You know, but we're all just still those little girls looking up for someone to tell us we're doing it right. Yeah. And it sounds like your highest self was really reminding you, you already are. You're already being it. So when you start to feel that like, I'm not there yet energy, what can you tell yourself?
I feel like this is a great question because this is something it's going to take maybe some practice to keep implementing for me. I would tell myself that you practice what you preach. You say messy action is better than no action at all. And just kind of give myself like a little like pat on the back, a little hug, and just tell myself like, girl, you've come so far. You're figuring it out. You didn't give up. Most people would have given up by now. And just be proud of yourself and just enjoy the moment too. Stop worrying about what happens next. Be present. You have tools. You have mindset tools and things like that. Like, you're good. You have your spiritual, you have your whole toolbox. Like, people don't get to have toolboxes like that. You're good. You're always prepared.
If no one else existed, there was no one to show anything to, what would you want? If you had to live your life like on your own, I mean, maybe your partner was with you, but no one else knew of you. There was nothing to share. How would you want to live your life?
First word is at peace, but the second word is just comfortable in my own skin.
Comfortable in your own skin. And what does that feel like for you? Share more with me about that.
Yeah. That would feel like I can wear whatever and just feel good in it, even if it's just for myself, like feel pretty in it or feel cute in it for me and just feel like confident in it again for me, even if nobody was watching, just not be so critical of myself. Yeah, and I would just say, look, it comes back to the clothes. It always comes back to the clothes, but
let's put a pause on the word look. Anytime you want to say look, let's go into feel.
Okay. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel proud. I want to feel self-assured. I want to feel the word collected is coming up. Just that, you know what, like I am calm, cool, collected, that feeling of just everything's good.
Beautiful. Feeling calm, cool, collected. And let's feel into, where do you feel that in your body?
Definitely in my mind. Where I would like to feel it is in my body.
Where in your body? Like, let's drop into that. Close your eyes and just let yourself feel calm, cool, collected. And tell me how your body shifts, where you feel maybe some relaxation or openness.
I remember in DCI, we talked about where you feel things in your body, and like my back and my shoulders, just feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. So that I feel like is more calm, cool, collected.
So bringing the calm, cool, collected feeling. It was like an ocean breeze to the back of your shoulders, to your body. Maybe even touching your hand in a really breezy way with the tips of your finger. You can even blow on your skin. Feeling so calm, so chill, so relaxed, so centered in your being. Nothing to prove. Nothing to show. Your looks, you don't even see them right now because you're so deep in your being. You forget what you even look like. You don't even exist. You're just one with your soul. Just feel how much ease you would feel. Just letting your soul just be, just letting your hair be frizzy, just letting your legs be hairy, just letting yourself just chill. That same voice within her that's telling her right now, you're not good enough, is going to follow her for the rest of her life until she faces that voice. So I like to personify these voices. Hers was Angry Amber. And then I asked her, how old is Angry Amber? And it was that 16-year-old girl. So we could see we were drawing a lot of parallels here. That until we can't change the past of that 16-year-old girl, but we have to just close the loop and say, and that's what it was. And it was perfect. And it allowed me to become this version of me and go deeper. That I am no longer a 16-year-old girl anymore. She is in me, as many other parts of me are in me. But I am guided and connected by my highest self's wisdom, not my 16-year-old girl's wisdom. I am a parent to my 16-year-old girl. But I don't let her guide the ship. And her highest self was reminding her, you're already there. Be present. It's already happening. Just enjoy it. You want to get to what the client wants to feel. For her, it was proud and worthy. For your client, it could feel loved. For another client, it could feel, and help them understand that they can feel that way right now. They don't need to wait for this arbitrary accomplishment to feel that way, but rather feeling that way is actually what can bring you to that accomplishment, but it makes you not actually even care for it that much. Because if you already feel it, like, do you actually need it? And that's actually what helps you get it because you're not attached. And when she would go back into that 16-year-old girl, would ask her questions to bring back her highest self's perspective. And then because it paralleled a similar experience I had of creating also this dream girl version of myself in my mind. Mine was more of like a Trinidad Carnival queen personally. But then even once I became that, my initiation was really to move from girlhood to womanhood. You know, the girl consciousness wants everyone to see them, everyone to like them. They can never get enough attention. But when we step into that woman consciousness, which our society doesn't have these initiations, so we have to self-initiate ourselves of really walking and being as a woman, the woman no longer needs that anymore. The woman lives for herself. So because I had my own experience of this, and this is why it's important to really take time for yourself to contemplate, because the awarenesses you have, you will likely attract clients. You see so many parallels to what she desired and the things that I've created in my life because she is in my audience because of the content that I put out. So you will attract people as your clients who likely desire some of the things that you have. And so you already know, oh girl, it's not all that it's panned out to be. And I can now see these things that I couldn't see from where you were at. And that's what makes you the perfect coach for them, because you can guide them and you're not like, oh my God, yeah, wouldn't the cool apartment be everything? And then we would be so happy. But it's like, yeah, I have the cool apartment and I've cried in it so many times. And so when you can go beyond that, that's actually what allows you to help your client quantum leap. Because instead of that thing that they think is their goal, you can take them beyond their goal. So then it's like that thing can naturally happen because you're already aiming for something so much higher. What she was really aiming for was acceptance, self-love. It's not tied to anything. It's not tied to any looks. Did you notice? I noticed in her vocabulary, it was a lot around looks, aesthetics. So I invited her to remove looks and tune into feeling. I invited her to go into imagine if there was no one else, what would you really want to feel? And that's when cool, calm, and collected came, which really were her words. And even at the end, those were the 3 words she left with in the coaching session. I also want to note something you probably felt in her energy. She didn't feel like, oh my God, yeah, now I'm so grateful and so happy. It was still this like, whoa. And that's okay. And that's actually in deeper sessions is actually how it's going to feel. You know, it's easier to get that quick win feeling when you're doing something like Dharma coaching, business coaching, because it's like, okay, here's the plan. And the ego really likes a plan. But when we're actually doing deeper spiritual excavation, like we were today, of like really changing lifelong belief systems, that takes time to incubate. So she's going to be processing this over the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks. Like this is a big shift in her life, should she truly anchor it. And that's why you would continue to work with your clients, because this is like a big shift of entirely shifting goals and directions. So I share this because don't let your ego feel like, oh my God, did I not coach her right? She doesn't really seem happy and excited right now. I must not have done this right. But rather, you know that that work was deep and it's multi-layered and it's going to take time to really drop in. And that's okay. We don't need to be like, and do you like me? Because that's our own inner little girl that wants to make sure the client liked the session. They're not always going to like the session when we're doing deep work, but it's always going to be valuable to them. And then the homework that I gave her again was homework that's come out of my own spiritual journey. And that was the not wearing makeup thing, which is challenging and it's triggering, you know, not for all women, but for a lot. And I gave her this. And so if I were to work with her again, then we would break that down of how she felt. And it's kind of giving us a direction of what this coaching container would look like, which is really about authenticity. So if we're so focused on, I have to have that thing, we actually push it away. But instead, and this is the law of attraction, to feel as if you already have it, and not just mentally, but really embody it, and how to help them find evidence of how they've already created that thing. Of helping her see that she already had an event and 8 people were there. And even though her voice was shaking, she did it. And that was her exact message that her highest self gave her. Even if your voice is shaking, you got this. And it was exactly what she was already living. So she was able to see that she was already living as her highest self. So that's what the session looked like. There were so many great gems in here. It was amazing. You could also notice I continue to breathe. I continue to connect to my highest self, and I continue to connect with her. Connect with your body, connect with your breath, connect with your highest self and your client's highest self. You really, really, really saw the highest self method in this coaching session. So this was a really good one. This is very true to the method, and you can really watch this time and time again and keep finding different modalities. And I mean, there were so many more that I can't even mention right now. When you watch, you'll start to notice a lot of things that you are learning. I was embodying and doing, and she was shifting into. So this is such a beautiful session to really see the method in action. All right, Amber, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This was great.